Yo guys, welcome back. Today we are revisiting Ultimate Luna. Since we have been working on her the last few days, there has been a few changes to the build to make her even stronger, specifically in the Abyss Stormhanger fight, as you can see in the showcase at the start of the video. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet since we have a lot to talk about involving her. As always, everything I do is live on Twitch every day. Link is in the description. A lot of great people in the community putting our minds together to get these builds done. So come hang out. Happy to answer any questions about builds as well. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So first, let's go over what weapon we're going to be using because there's a lot of confusion, I believe. Even I was confused in the first video because I did say piercing light. But basically the way this works is whatever you are fighting and what they are weak to is what you want to go with. So if you're fighting something weak to toxic, like Stormhanger, you're going to go with ATAMs. Fighting something weak to chill, you're going to go with piercing light. You're fighting something weak to fire, you're going to go with exterminator. So in this situation, we're going to focus on ATAMs, being that Stormhanger is weak to toxic firearm damage. So I did go over this in the last video, but I want to go over it again. And it's basically to show what substats and what mods do work with your unique ability. I've tested a ton, so I know them. So we're just going to go through basically what I know to work already. So first we need to get a base damage, right? So we're going to look for what our firearm damage is here. We get 2 hits. One's going to be firearm, and the other one is going to be your skill. So our firearm is hitting for 8,828 currently. So the first thing we should check here is going to be a firearm mod. So we're going to go with action and reaction, and we're going to see if we get an increase in damage on our firearm hit. We were hitting for 8,000, and now we're hitting for 11,000. So now let's try an element mod, and we're going to go with toxic here, like I was saying. And we were hitting for 11,000, and now we are hitting for 26,000. So as we can see, firearm attack and element both transfer over when you use her unique ability. So now we have our base mods here with firearm attack and 2 element mods. So let's see where we're hitting for currently. We are hitting for 53,000. Next, we're going to try weak point mods. So we're going to try to get a weak point hit here. And to do that, you have to aim and shoot. So as you've seen, we hit for 76,000 when we hit the weak point there. So now let's try to add a weak point mod in and see if we get added damage out of that. So now we're hitting for 96,000. So yes, that is completely working. We are able to use weak point mods. So with knowing all of that, this is going to be our final product. We have our 3 firearm mods. We have fire rate up. We have 2 weak point mods, 2 toxic mods, adventurer, which is basically just giving us 2% weak point damage. And then special sight, which does work when you are aiming in her unique ability, which you should be aiming the whole time, especially when you are fighting Colossus, trying to get the weak point hits. So now let's get into the build portion here for Luna. And previously we were running 2 duration mods. Turns out that was actually the wrong way to go. What we want to do is have 1 duration mod and 1 range mod. And this is going to be specifically because of fever time and fighting Stormhanger. Stormhanger's so far away, and it's not like something like the Devourer where we can get up on their leg and be on top of them. So we're going to need the added range for fever time to hit Stormhanger, and it is a good amount of damage that we do not want to be missing out on. So to show an example of this, I will demonstrate without the range mod, and then we will demonstrate with the range mod. So currently we're hitting for 1.294 million without the range mod. And now we have put in the range mod in, skill expansion, and I have tested more range mods. It is unnecessary, did nothing for my damage at all. So let's get on our unique. We were hitting for 1.294 million. And now we are hitting for 1.45 million. And as you can see, there's bigger hits happening there for 5 million because we now have enough range. So I just want to go over another example here of why you need the range. It shows it very clearly. I'm not going to shoot here at all. I'm just going to proc our enhanced. And you can see that's the damage that we're looking for, those 11 million hits. So that's why the damage is so much higher. Now, if I were to bring in another Colossus that I can get very close to, take out the range mod, and do the same exact thing, you'll see that it's going to hit him. So for something like this, we wouldn't need the range as much, but because Stormhanger is hanging from the ceiling is why we're going to need the range. So let's go over the rotation for the fight. When you load in, get up on your unique weapon and just start shooting to get your custom resource up. Make your way over to the boss. As soon as you have enough, you're going to aim, ADS, use your 3, your 4, and then your 2, and try to hit the weak point as best as you possibly can. So let's go over the final build here. We are using Cyclic Amplifier. Yes, this is going to be a gamble to get the tech skill power increase, but this is still going to be better than using Power Beyond. We are using Battlefield Concert. We have our 4 crit mods, our maximize skill, maximize power because we're not worried about cooldown. We are using Dangerous Ambush. Non-attributes in Sight Team is going to give you more damage than Spear and Shield. And then we have our 1 range mod and our 1 duration mod like we were talking about. For our reactor, make sure you have your sniper rifle mounted, non-attribute tech, and for your substats, you want Colossus, 100%, crit damage for your second stat. If you don't have crit damage, you can get away with tech if you're not looking to go for max speed times here, and you just want to get completions. And then for your set, you're going to want the Enlightened Mage set. As usual, please make sure you have your MP substats. I do not want to hear in the chat, "Send, I'm running out of MP." Please have your MP substats on your external component. Now for our arcade tuning, we did switch this up a little bit to get a little more skill power, but pretty much the same basis here. We want to make sure we're coming over here, getting our Colossus, getting our enhanced skill power. You need your crit rate, your crit damage, and then for our mutant cell, we have switched this up from defense neutralization, and I am using Arcade Chain Catalyst. 10-second duration. The fight in a good run takes about 10 seconds, so this lines up just perfect. Now for our inversion reinforcement, which nothing here is too helpful. We have Arcade Circulation Tactic on. We're using Selective North Stimulation. This one's probably the most useful one for the duration, but when you're in a fight that's going this quick now, none of these really benefit you too much. But if you do get into a situation where the fight's taking longer, then yes, of course they can. So let's go over the ATAMs. Now, cores do not affect your unique weapons damage. I repeat, cores do not affect your unique weapons damage, and they do not affect your unique weapon at all. So you do not get the sprint speed, you do not get the grappling hook charge time, yet your substats do. You're going to want Toxic, Colossus, Firearm Attack, and weak point damage. And as far as the mods, this is something we already went over. I'll leave this on the screen for a second so you can screenshot it. Now, as far as any other weapon we are using with her, you're basically gonna just copy the ATAMs. As you can see, my substats are gonna be the same on the Piercing Light, and so are my mods. Except for... So let's go over our mobbing build quickly, and we will be using Power Beyond with this. Basically, the setup is pretty much the same as the bossing build. So we have switched a second duration mod to range once again on this. Other than that, everything's the same as the bossing build until you get to the support in the arcade mods. We're going to be going with Decimator. This is going to give us the most damage. And then we're going to go with MP Collector. Some people may want to use Potent Collector. I prefer MP Collector. It allows you to miss notes all you want, to spam your gun even though you're not hitting anything, and you really don't have to worry about ever running out of MP. Very comfortable way to play her. As far as the reactor, non-attribute tech skill power, skill critical hit damage, and then for your set, you're going to go with the Enlightened Mage. Once again, make sure you have your MP stats on all your pieces. Now for our arcade tuning, very similar to the bossing build, but we're not going to want Colossus here, so we're going to go down with the range and get the skill power node, skill critical hit rate, skill damage, and for our mutant cell, we're going to be going with non-attribute cohesion. So for our inversion reinforcement, we're going to be going with Arcade Circulation Tactic, Selective North Stimulation, and deploy Resonance Device for the added duration when hitting the enemy with a skill. And that covers everything for this updated Ultimate Luna build. Any questions or suggestions about the builds, let me know in the comments, or stop by Twitch chat. Like and subscribe is appreciated. Thanks, guys. Peace.